Hi, welcome. Come on in, pull up a seat, get comfy. I'm Lakaya, and this is Tell Me a Story, Storytime with Lak, a podcast where I just get to have all kinds of interesting conversations with people. Like my first guest who joins me on the yellow sofa, my pal and self-proclaimed international baddie, Tennille, who shares her stories on life as a flight attendant. Tennille gave some really good insight in our chat as to what it's like for working for one of the world's biggest airlines, and we talk about the intense training, her favourite long haul destination, and I mean, of course I asked, but like, is the rep that all cabin crew like to sleep around actually true? I enjoyed it. I think you will too, so let's get to it. Well, oh my gosh, Tennille, you are the first guest on Tell Me a Story, bracket story time with Lack. Thank you.
You honestly, again, I just feel so honored.
I mean, who else? Who else? I know this is going to be an iconic moment. Like, I just cannot wait. But Tennille, I firstly want to know, like, what you're drinking. What's the situation?
So in my cup, in my chalice, I have Havana Special rum with
Oh,
juice. Yeah.
okay. So fair. I'm just like drinking the cheapest cider. Like, this is actually so. No, it's not even nice. I'm just like so cheap. But it gets the job done. So cheers.
No, but which side is that? Cheers.
Cheers to Neil.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to know, what are you going to be talking to me about today? What story are you going to tell?
I think I'm gonna tell my story about me being an international baddie. I.e.
Period. Period.
Literally, yeah, I'm just gonna talk about my experiences about being cabin crew and like what it like was like. Because I
See,
feel
this
like as
is
a
the thing.
whole, like you interact with crew, right? Like when you go into a plane and whatnot. But like we really, yeah,
This is the thing. Like, there's like people that will be like upcoming guests on Tell Me a Story, and I've let them like decide whatever they want to talk to me about. But I was like, no, Tennille, like because you know that like this is so exciting to me to talk to you about it. Obviously, we've done this before, like, but I just want to like really talk to you about something that's so fun. I've always thought that like being a cabin crew, being a flight attendant is so fun. So Tennille, let's go. Let's just go straight in from the beginning. Now, from the top.
it's a wet ass.
From the top, like, how did obviously you applied, but like, what made you apply? What were you thinking? Like, talk to me about that.
So at the time, I was working at prep,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh my God. Sorry guys, but I forgot that.
like we're going back through the CV right now. You know what I mean? So I was working at Pret and it got to a point, everyone has that point in their job where they're like, I can't be arsed. Like, I need a change of scenery. And I remember having a conversation with my mom and being like, Mom, like, I'm trying to get out. Like, I don't like this job. Like, I'm getting bored. And she was like, why don't you just apply to be cabin crew? Like, it's something that you've always wanted to do. So why don't you do it? And
Okay.
Mama knows best.
Yeah. I didn't know that was your mom that kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, fair.
The driving force for
Hmm.
yeah, I applied, did the test. It was like harder than my GCSEs.
Okay.
Like,
Which airline was this?
pardon?
Which airline was this?
Can I say?
Can, oh, is it gonna be scandalous? Okay, if it's gonna
Uh,
be scandalous,
ends with a Y
okay.
or S.
No,
Ends
yeah.
with an
Starts with a B, ends with an S. Okay.
S.
Okay. So you apply it the like what is the actual like stages? Because I obviously I applied for the same airline and
Mm-hmm.
I got through to the like the interviews, was it the assessment stage, which is still like not many people get that far, so that was great for me. um yeah, I remember we stayed in the same hotel, like we had a moment, we were singing.
The tasks were bussing, mate.
we were turning up to Nicki Minaj. But like, so I did the assessment. I didn't like make it to the next stage. But what do you remember of this time, like the assessment and the interviews? Because you said it was hard, but like, what do you remember?
So I remember what I wore. I remember how I felt.
What did you wear? Come
I
on.
wore like this cute little pencil skirt from Zara, and I had these cute little kitty like burgundy heels, but the heel was like a lovely. It was so beautiful because I
Oh,
was for shades. Shade. So those were like, those were perfect, and I had a blazer. I just wanted to look the part. But I arrived. We had our first assessment, which was like role play, and at first you have to like read something and do role play, and then after that is like there was also a group interview at the time, and then yeah, afterwards they like cut the day in half. So if you're successful, you go to the second part, and then if you're not, you get chopped. Unfortunately,
oh,
it's really hard. It's really tapped, mate. Like it's tapped, and you'll just see the girls crying outside the room. Like,
yeah. I remember. I was one of those girls. I was just like, oh my god.
literally, it's just not nice. But yeah, I did that, then did the training, and just yeah, it's just I
How long were you training for?
training was like 6 weeks.
That's a lot. That's a long time.
It's a long time, but then at the end of it, you're just like, oh my god, now I can fly, and like I don't know. I feel like for me, it was the coolest job I ever had because I was traveling the world. And for the most part, I only had to deal with passengers. Like, they were like the hurdle I had to cross in order to get to that golden pot of money. Like, that hotel was at the other side of the rainbow.
Fair, fair. That yes, that Caribbean destination was a
Oh,
yes. Period.
literally.
Okay, so training's done. The 6 weeks, like that, is so intense.
Hmm.
But I'm sure you do. But do you remember your first flight?
My
Was-
first
Did
flight,
you were weren't you long haul? Is it long haul and short haul? You were doing like both, weren't you? Yeah.
so my first flight was a non-operational flight. So that's what you tend to do when you on your first flight. So you don't operate on the flight. You just shadow the girls. You just look
Oh,
down. You don't do anything. You just sit down and just you know you can go
okay.
to the cockpit, have a look at where you're landing.
Okay.
And like kiki with the girls in the cockpit. But like yeah, I don't remember where it was. I remember the views and it was spectacular, but I don't remember where it was. But yeah, like it's crazy because you're so nervous because you're like, oh my god, like everything that they've taught me now I need to put it into practice. So you're like, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? Am I doing? And then by like your 10th flight, you're like, fuck let's just get all this out. Like, shake it up, beef, fam.
Stop! Oh my gosh. I mean, obviously you're gonna be nervous, but I just knew that this is so for you. You were such a natural, like, so I can't imagine that you were nervous, but obviously you were because it's like it's a new job.
I was for like 5 minutes, and then when I realized I didn't have to do anything, I just was like, why are we stressing? I don't need to do anything. Relax, like just chill out.
So, like, okay, what were your favorite? Because, like, you're no longer with starts with B, ends with S.
Yeah.
You're not with them, but like, do you remember a favorite destination or
Oh my god, I could talk about this place for days. St. Lucia, honestly, jewel of the Caribbean.
had you been before?
I'd never been before. Never ever in my life had I been before. Because like Jamaican parents, like they're not trying to take you to other Jamaican islands. I mean, other Jamaican.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Why
No,
you
I
trying
think they don't. It's Jamaica or nothing.
It was literally Jamaica or nothing. Like
Fair.
islands don't exist.
Yeah.
Going there. So I never knew. So like I finally had the opportunity to travel to different islands in the Caribbean. So there was Antigua, Barbados, St. Lucia, um, Bermuda, but Bermuda's culturally Caribbean, not geographically. Where else?
I
Shit.
remember you posting these like I would just get so jealous. You fucking tanning and sunning yourself for days in the fucking Barbados or wherever. I was
Oh,
so.
she
I
never
mean,
touched Barbados. She never
oh, I
Barbados.
never went to Barbados, but St. Lucia, I was just like, wow. I mean, you were on yachts, like
Yeah.
you were on boats, you were
Oh,
just.
that's Mauritius.
Oh, yeah, there was Mauritius. So, I literally, I mean, obviously, I was so happy for you because, like,
Mm,
it looks like a dream come true. Like, you'll get
yeah.
to. How many days did you spend in these countries, like per time?
Like it could be from like 24 hours up until like 4, 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But St. Lucia was my favorite just because of like um the people that I met like whilst I was there. Like I got really friendly with people who lived there and just it was always like the journey getting there was the worst part. It's like an hour and you're doing this in the car, like just going up hills and like you want to
Oh, is that from the airport? Wait, from the airport to.
the hotel.
Okay.
It was just a nightmare. Plus, the next day you have to go back to the airport to operate on a flight that from one Caribbean island to the other, and then come back again.
Really?
Yeah, so you don't
So
get
long.
off in St. Lucia at all. Didn't get any time off. So everything that I had to do
I'm
was
sure you've
night.
had. I'm sure you've had.
No, I did because I was a night crawler.
Yeah,
I would
you.
land, get my booze, go out, especially on a Friday. They have something called Fish Fridays. So you go up to like the next town, you just party, outdoor parties. It was lit. Loved it. Honestly. I love the Caribbean. Like, honest to God, I love the Caribbean. It's the best place. St. Lucia is like my favorite. But yeah, we would typically spend like 3 nights there. So on the third night is when we'd fly back home. So that would make it a 4-day trip.
Wow. That I mean, even just what you saying about like having to, as soon as you land, pretty much like go and do another flight. That sounds so tiring, and that's one thing that like when I was applying and thinking about the job. Obviously, there's the best aspect, which is like going around the world. That's so fucking amazing. But like, did you ever? I mean, maybe you didn't, but like, did you ever feel like, okay, this is so draining. This is so tiring. Did you ever just feel knackered, absolutely knackered?
And
Oh, you just down for the ride.
yeah, like there were times where I was really done, and that's when, like, it's just thinking about that journey, like on landing day from the airport to your bed is the longest journey ever. Like, it feels like you're crossing the seven seas, yeah,
Oh,
barefoot in the heat, no water, no food, nothing, and you're walking across that desert.
oh my
Your
god,
bed right
no,
up.
no.
Landing days are horrible, but you're just gonna go back again next week and get a tan. So
Yeah, like, but how did you like manage with different time zones and jet lag, or like did that?
I think jet lag was rather an excuse for me. I don't I'm a fan of sleeping, so that's how I regulated my shit. I would sleep when I needed to. Tried not to take the only time I would nap is before I started work, just because I'm not gonna be able to sleep properly during the night because I'm working.
Mhm.
But when I was home and because I had like free time as well, you just manage it and just you regulate it. So as soon as you come back home, you eat, shower, just chill, go to sleep for a few hours, wake up in the evening, make your dinner, and go back to sleep at like 9 p.m. and then you're good.
Anyone that like complains about it, you're just a pussy.
No, period. Period.
Period.
Like no, don't get me wrong, it's shattering. Like it's your body's going through it because at the end of the day, when you're doing a night flight, like you're not sleeping, you're not getting that 8, 9 hour sleep. So you haven't probably slept for like over 12 hours.
Mm.
Then you have to still be awake. Your break is probably like 2 to 3 hours. So you're not even getting enough sleep anyways. So yeah, and the toll that can take on your mental health when you don't sleep enough, when you're just, it's crazy.
Was there ever a time? How long were you with? Starts with B and ends with S. How long were you with them?
I was with them for like from 2018 up until 2020.
Okay, that's like a good time.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But was there ever like a time where you felt scared, just up in the air, or like no?
Um,
That,
I feel more comfortable being in the air than I do on the land. That's so tough.
okay.
I love turbulence. I love a flight because at the end of the day, like you're getting something out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like there was never a moment that I felt scared about anything because I was trained to deal with stuff. I
That's so.
had a lot of people to like get me through this, so regardless, like I felt safe. There were times where I'm like, fucking hell. Like when the drone went out onto bloody Gatwick runway, I was literally like working that flight, and the plane was just circling, circling. We went over Birmingham, came back. We were just up and down the
Oh
UK.
my god.
Drone cleared, pissed me off, and literally it was a night flight. I hadn't slept. I'm sitting down in bloody Scotland in the airport in the bloody yo. I wanted to find that person who flew that drone and just wallop.
I remember that. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. But you know what? Like, and one question I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me actually take a sip of my cheap soda.
Oh, let's sip, girl.
Yeah, tastes cheap. Um, it does. It does. But like, I know, like a lot of people talk about the Mile High Club and like even like Central C on like his song Doja, he talks about like wanting to fuck like a flight attendant. Did you ever like feel the? It's not pressure. Is not the word, but just I don't know. This kind of maybe it is pressure. Not pressure. What is the word that I'm trying to?
Yeah, flag.
Just not even being a slag, but just knowing that like you are like someone's fantasy, whether it's a man or a woman. Like people, you know that people think of like wanting to sleep with the flight attendant, wanting to do this, and like I mean, obviously, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But like, that's for another episode.
Well, maybe you can tell the girls.
As working, did you ever feel that like from were people giving off that vibe of like you're sexy to me? Obviously you are sexy, but like just you in your uniform, like or...
Uniforms clapped. If the uniform was designed how I would like it to be designed, then yeah, would be
you'd have your tits out.
motto to fly fuck.
You'd have your tits out. You'd have your tits out. You would.
Like you're not even wearing like a blazer at this point. It's just a bra that's cut out to look like a blazer. Like that would be my idea of the perfect uniform for me. But yeah, the uniform wasn't nice.
Yeah,
Like,
but I know that like. Well, I kind of imagine that people would just. But people like flirty because you're a flirty person as well. Like
I'm a flirty person, but no one was flirty because at the end of the day, like I'm here to like make sure that we don't die. You know, I'm here to make sure you put that seatbelt on. I never got that. I got that once throughout my whole career. Just once, one time, someone flirted with me.
one. What?
Yeah, once on a Toronto flight. I remember this flight distinctly.
Okay, go on. Let me get me cider.
So my best friend, shout out Cheyenne, I love you, girl. Was living in Canada at the time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna come and fly out. I'm gonna work a flight. There's like a 5-day trip, and it happened to be Carabana, which is Toronto's carnival. So I flew out for that. So I'm working the flight, and I was so happy this flight because this aircraft had beds. They had beds in the top bunker, which meant I could sleep in a bed, not by the cold door. I was so happy.
Wait. Can we pause this story for 1 second? Where would you normally sleep? This doesn't sound too, like, fun. Like, what were you doing?
My lawyer has advised me not to answer that question, but just know that it's not where you all sleep.
Oh, okay. We don't want to put starts with B and ends on S on blast, but okay. Okay. Okay, so there's no beds. But this flight, you've got a bed. Nice. Love that. Great.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, there was this guy, I was working down in economy at the time, and he wanted something from duty free, some perfume. So I was like, cool, like let me try and find some. And I got him the one that he wanted, gave it to him, and then he was just talking. And I was just like, you do the whole, oh shit, I'm bad, I take it a while. But I didn't see him throughout the time I was in Canada. So yeah, but that was like the only time. Like other than that, nobody's really trying to move you like that, you know.
Really? That's a surprise.
I know it's a surprise, isn't it? Considering how strong in I can look.
I mean, period. If you're watching on Spotify videos, you can see. So okay, I mean, fair.
Yeah.
But like, okay, cabin crew
Mm.
are like notorious for just being absolute big fat slappers, and that's something that appealed to me for applying. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Can you
Tag worldwide.
exactly a worldwide international slapper?
Yeah.
Can you confirm or deny? Not even necessarily about yourself, but like, is that a thing? Is that like whole culture? Is it true?
Not from my experience. Everyone that I would fly with was in a relationship or married, or like they weren't really out here.
Really?
Yeah, for real. I didn't experience that, but that doesn't mean that I didn't dabble in that, you know.
Better have.
So I'm gonna go with I cannot confirm nor deny. All I know is what I was doing.
That's something that like really kind of sounded fun. Like not even to be like gross, but that sounded fun. Like you get to sleep with so many people around the world. Like what's not to love about that?
I think the cool part is for me just knowing that there are so many other people out there in the world. Like when you go somewhere and just meeting someone from that place, I think that's incredible. Whether or not you want to shag them is a completely different thing, but just knowing that you can meet someone in a different country and you vibe, like that's so crazy. Can't even get on with the people in London, but I'll be fine.
All you need is a flight with no beds to St. Lucia. You're good.
That's all you need.
So, like you said at the beginning, you really love the job. Do you miss the job?
I miss the job tremendously.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I'm not a retail babe.
I'm
really not a retail babe. And I like to know that at the end of my hard day, I'm going to a 4 or 5 star hotel. I'm going to have breakfast in the morning and I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to a museum. Oh, I might go to a club tonight. Oh, carnival's on. Might go over and see that. I don't love
that. Oh,
but
sorry.
It's all right. Best job I ever had, honestly. Fantastic job. I implore everybody, especially if you're a POC, please. Because one thing that I would say is being a black woman in a space like that is different, you know? And it was nice to be with black
women. Saying that, why is it different?
Because, like, I didn't really see a lot of us. You know, so the minute that I did, I was like, oh my god, black woman. And that's when we would turn that's why St. Lucia was my favorite, because there was a flight where I met basically all the black women at that base on one flight.
All 6 of you.
All 6 of us.
No. Sorry, starts with B
Yeah,
and S. Come on, guys.
like all six of us, and we had the best time in St. Lucia. Honest to God, the best. And since then, yeah. But I implore people from all sorts of backgrounds to come in because you see the world, and I think that should be. I don't think it should be a privilege. I think it should be a right. Like everybody should have access to travel and to see things and experience different things because it really can and it does change your mindset. Like traveling does things for me that I'm so happy that I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
It's such a great thing to be able to do, and just come on over. Do you know what I mean? Just come on over. Just join the recruitment. Just come on over. Honestly, you need.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I absolutely love that. Tennille, thank you for
Thank
being the
you.
first guest on Story Bracket Storytime with Black. I loved this chat. Like, I absolutely love this chat. Love you, obviously.
Love you. Yeah.
But thank you, and I think a lot of people find that enlightening, and they might be looking to apply for Starts with B ends with us right now. So yeah, I want to say thank you again, and I will catch you on the other side.
I'll catch you on the other side, babe.
Bye.